Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to Cosmo Muse Tarot and my Wednesday glow up message. This week's glow up is going to be tapping into the season of Lammas, which is a Celtic cross quarter season that starts, well, it's celebrated August 1st, but technically it starts about August 6th. So I believe when this reading will go public will be like the day before the celebration. So something that's on the horizon, maybe a week away, but like really close to coming in. And so this season takes us into the west of the Celtic wheel, associated with water and wisdom and femininity. So we start to notice a marked shift, at least if you're in the northern hemisphere, that really, really long daytime is starting to wane. Our nights are gaining a little power back. It's still very yang in nature because our days are still longer than our nights. But there's a tempering coming in. And that's bringing, a sense of balance, but also maybe a sense of like, okay, what do I do with all the growth that's come in from spring and summer? It's time to, that daytime shortening kind of kicks in this need to wrap things up, to tie things up. So we come into our first harvesting season, and we come into a time of just recognizing what we've grown, what we've matured, and what do we want to do with that in our lives. So from the book, a few themes of the season are like maturity, abundance, blessing, clearing, creativity, gratitude, growth, harvesting, inspiration, motherhood, power, prosperity, success, transformation, and warmth. So a lot of positive things, but it doesn't highlight that there can be a little bit of OCD and worry on top of the season, but this is a glow up message. So we are really going to tap into the themes that are really positive about Lammas, and seeing how this season is bringing, what kind of glow up it is going to bring in for you. So let's pick 3 piles to choose from. And this is a timeless reading. So even if you're coming from the southern hemisphere, right when I post this, or at a totally different time of year, in your own, like in our own lives, we have all sorts of seasons and cycles that don't necessarily match with like our yearly seasons and cycles, right? Just different phases of life. So you may just, whenever you come to this, be coming into some kind of glow up in your life that would resonate with a Lammas type of glow up, or kind of end of summer energy type of glow up. Okay, so let's get 3 piles, and definitely feel free to go to as many piles as you feel called to. So we've got corn, we've got community service, and country fair. Okay, so check out these 3 piles, feel into which ones resonate with you, whether it's the image, the colors, the pile number, so pile 1, pile 2, pile 3. There's numbers on these cards, so pile 1 has number 10. Pile 2 has a number 8, and pile 3 has a 13. So if one of those numbers means something to you, whatever you tend to tune into, feel free to choose your piles however makes sense to you. Okay, you can pause here if you need more time. Whenever you're ready, timestamps will be in the descriptions, and I will see you in your readings. Hello, pile 1. Welcome to your glow up reading. themed by the Celtic season of Lammas. And you guys picked corn. So on this card it says, let spirit guide you and take meaningful action. Dreams become reality when combined with purposeful intent and action. Beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to read even more from the guidebook about this card. Let's see. Okay, so keywords: sacred feminine energy, mother goddess, receptivity, and balance. This is your invitation to open yourself up to the inner workings of your spirit and navigate your decisions and actions from a place of authenticity and balance. Corn represents both the sun and the sacred feminine, represented by the corn mother and corn maiden. It is a symbol of tempering action with allowing what you desire to come to you. In a reading, this card is guiding you to approach situations from both head and the heart. You are being asked to stay open to spirit while also grounding your desires in the physical world. Dreams without action are fantasy, and action without intention is wasted time. Likewise, there are times when you need to push and times when you should sit back and let things come to you. It's a constant dance of refining, always tinkering until you get just the right formula. Reread the meaning of this card, and while paying attention to which feels like the right path forward, action or receptivity, because that is what is required most at this time to address your question. So you didn't necessarily bring a question here because it's about a glow up. So I feel like what this glow up is for you is any question you're coming into that really strong sense. You're coming into your own sense of temperance, really knowing when to pull back, really knowing when to have greater sense of intention, knowing when to let things come to you, knowing when you need to be the one to be assertive or take action. And so this glow up is about temperance, about this really sacred understanding of like how things are flowing in life. What is coming towards you naturally that you can just sit back and let come to you, what is needing a little bit of energy and action from, and what is needing deeper intention, what is needing some reflection and contemplation so you can really have more clear intention. And it's just like something is unfolding in you, unlocking in you right now at this glow up where you're really coming into that flow of understanding. And so like really kind of being this conductor of life. Yeah, it's really beautiful. Okay, let's just get a few tarot cards to add to this to see what else the cards want to add to this glow up that already in itself is just beautiful. So we've got Two of Swords. Let's get 3 out and then we'll check it out. Knight of Spears. And King of Grails. I love that. Okay. Yeah, the Two of Swords is adding some energy to what that tempered quality I was feeling that this glow up is about, is like this deep knowing that it's not always reason and logic that help you to know things. Sometimes it's like you really have to trust your intuition, and sometimes it's hard to know which is right. Sometimes your heart's saying one thing, sometimes your head's saying another. And that's when you get into those trappings of like, okay, let's make the pro and con list, right? And how often do those pro and con lists actually work? I mean, sometimes they might shed light on certain things, but a lot of times you end up acting on your heart anyway. And this is just saying that like this glow up is helping you to know when reason and logic are needed and when that heart action is needed, when you need to make decisions based on heart and when you need to make decisions that are really well kind of thought through and reasoned out. And there's just something clicking in where it's making sense. Any question that's coming up, it's like you know exactly which part of you, reason, logic, or heart, or a combination, should be in charge of that particular question or path of action or whatever it is. And then we've got Knight of Spears, so a lot of exuberance coming through. Excuse me. Something caught in my throat with that. What's that about? Exuberance. That must not be right because that caught in my throat again. So not exuberance, okay. A single-mindedness. Oh, okay. So because you are coming into the right form of knowing how to make decisions, the right way to make decisions, and just like a knowingness about what's in charge of what kind of decision or action, it's giving you a much sharper and much clearer action capacity. Whether that action is receptivity and sitting back and letting something come to you, or charging towards something. It's like clarity is coming around the actions you are supposed to take, because you're now making decisions from the right place and not waffling and not sitting on the fence, really being decisive with the right decision maker, whether that's heart, reason, whatever, listening to someone else's expertise and advice, whatever it is, it's like you know the right mode to use to get to decisions, so you're making decisions, and it's allowing action to take place in your life, or motion to take place in your life. And sometimes that action is an assertive, sometimes that action is receptivity, right? But you know exactly what you're supposed to do. And then we have King of Grails, and that feels like your presence, like you're just sitting in this knowingness. Everything is just flowing around you. You're becoming the conductor. That's what this King of Grails archetype feels like to me, a conductor. You're conducting an orchestra of your own life. You know exactly how to push and pull, how to temper things and move things and let things, go quiet and then explosive. And it's like you just know you're just composing. That is it. Beautiful. All right. Enjoy this glow up coming in probably first week of August-ish if you come to this when it first comes out. If you're coming at a different time, within like a week of seeing this, probably a week to 10 days. All right, wishing you guys a beautiful glow up. If this resonated, I always appreciate support with likes, shares, and subscribes. Always grateful for kind and thoughtful comments as well, but just in general, thank you for being here, and I hope to see you in future readings. Welcome pile 2 to your glow up reading. You guys picked community service. So this card says, the balm of your wounds lives in the spark that radiates love and brings healing to the world. Beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to read a little bit more about that from the guidebook as well. So keywords: giving back, acts of kindness, offerings, and resources. The community service card has appeared to bring a beautiful message of how transformative and healing kindness can be to your life. Moments of compassion and generosity have the ability to brighten someone's day, inspire hope, affirm support, and become one more deposit towards healing the wounds of humanity. This card is a gentle reminder to actively seek opportunities to give to a worthy cause, whether that's your favorite charity or helping a next-door neighbor. Doing so is not just for the benefit of others, but also a way to nourish your own soul. Kindness can only be given from an open heart, willing to allow the essence of love to channel through. By consciously choosing to be kind, you are affirming your desire to experience greater connection, which will inevitably return to you in the form of increased finances, experiencing more love and openness to new opportunities, fulfillment, purpose, and the manifestation of your most heartfelt desires. I think that's really beautiful. And it's interesting because this theme of like kindness and service, I feel like the last 3 weeks of readings has popped up a lot. I'm not sure what's in the air with that, in the stars with that. But that is interesting. It seems to, at least in my readings, really be out there in the ethers. So, how this is a glow up for you is I feel like, for me, when I feel that sense of giving, feel that sense coming through me that I want to give, that I want to help people, oftentimes that's when I feel the best about myself. Oftentimes that's coming from a place of plenty. Like I have a lot in my life, so I feel a lot of gratitude, and that makes me want to share. So usually when that kind of energy is coming up, it's coming up because your cup runneth over, right? And even if it isn't, there is just this sense of like an appreciation for life. So to me, this is more of the result of a glow up coming in rather than the glow up itself. I feel like the glow up itself is you feeling a more abundant and fulfilled connection to life. And that is resulting in you feeling energized and interested in sharing and helping and giving back and whatever, and just like kind of being out there and creating some goodwill and paying it forward, right? Or even paying it back. Maybe some of the people you end up helping have been really helpful to you or something like that. Some of you could be coming into numerologically like a 2-month or something, or even if you're having a birthday this month, maybe it's a 2-year. I could say that like the year I've been in has been a 2-year. So we, just to back this up a little, you have like, in numerology, you have like a lot of different numbers, but your main one is like your life path number. But every year you have a personal year number, and it cycles from 1 through 9. And so, yeah, the 2-year, if you're coming into that, or a 2-month, which is a little shorter of a cycle, but still, you know, tapping into the numbers. The 2 is all about how you can be supportive to others in life. And I very much so have had that year of others really needing my help. I mean, I honestly don't think a week has gone by where someone hasn't needed a lot from me. But that 2 energy is also about finding your boundaries of what was too much, or what was felt really good to give, and how did you being helpful, how did you learning lessons about being needed and being a support for others really actually enrich your life, because you really strengthened the bonds of life that could be seen as like the rainwater needed to help sprout a seed, because the 1 year that comes before 2 is like planting the seed, and the 2 is like the sunshine and the rain. I'm borrowing those words, by the way, these concepts from an astrologer named Dan Millman. This is the way he I'm paraphrasing, so I'm probably getting a little different, and I have my own sort of theory, so I'm sure it's mixed up a bit, but generally it's sort of like the 2 is then that, like the sunshine and the rain and the whatever else is needed to help that seed crack open and start to grow. And so this glow up that you're coming into may be you also coming into a sense of like really knowing your boundaries of what is appropriate to give, how much is appropriate to be asked of you, when it feels good to give, and what benefits, what kind of strengthening and growing resources come from that giving and that service and that being of help to others. So yeah, it can come in multiple ways. So there may be a 2 element where you're really in a positive state and really understanding what's beautiful about giving, but also your boundaries around giving. And then also coming from this place of feeling like your cup runneth over and you have a lot of gratitude for life. It could be one or the other or a little bit of both. But either way, it like really brings beautiful, positive energy. Yeah. Okay. So let's get a few tarot cards to add to this. Okay. King of Pentacles. Okay. That definitely means something. 10 of Grails. And 7 of Spears. Okay, interesting. Okay, so I definitely get a sense with the King of Pentacles coming through. There is confirmation there saying like you're probably sitting in a place where you feel very I don't want to say like in control or in command. That's not quite the right sense I'm feeling, but you're sitting in a place of strength around your sense of being connected to physical and material life. Not necessarily saying like you're sitting on a lot of wealth or feeling extra energized in your body, but there's something coming through that's feeling like stronger than you normally do, or more in a sense of wisdom than you normally have. So there's a strength around this service that you're providing and feeling glowy around offering into the world. So it's like there's a strength around this. You know what you have to offer and you know what you don't. So this is really bringing up some boundaries too around the service. You know what's appropriate to give and you know what's appropriate to be asked of you. And because you're so strong in that kind of deep inner knowing, the way in which you give is really powerful. And really thoughtful as well. Because, yeah, well, that's where I'll go with that. Like you're giving from a very thoughtful place, right? Really understanding the strength of what you can give and the boundaries. And because of that, there is this knowingness of what you do have to give and feeling positive and strong about giving it. And so when you give it, when you provide service, it comes from this really wise, strengthened, thoughtful place. And then 10 of Grails is indicating that is helping life to flow in a really harmonious way, because you're not overtaxing yourself, you're not being stingy, you're not, like it's a really beautiful flow of support you're putting out into the world for others that's thoughtful and meaningful. And then the 7 of Spears, that one's interesting. I need to look at this image a little more. So there's like a lion. Like some of the spears are part of the bed frame, it feels like, and some are like coming through a window. I don't know if I'm reading that correctly, or are they floating in space? I don't know. Okay. Some of the spears are directed toward the person, and some are coming out of their bed. Oh, these are the directions. You're moving out of a defensiveness of like, how much do I give versus not give? You really are understanding. You're understanding that flow. So you don't have to be like defensive anymore of like, am I being used? Have I closed myself off too much to helping? It's like you're starting to understand the right boundaries, but also the benefits and the beauty and the benefits of giving when it's right. And so it's like you're really becoming more precise, which is making you less sort of defensive, right? Especially if you know, you feel like a lot has been asked of you or something lately. It's like you're finding the right ways to say yes and no, and to give what you actually have to offer in service, and wanting to, and feeling beautiful about that, but also knowing when to so it's kind of confirming what I felt with the king. It's just like but adding this element of there maybe was a defensiveness, and that's part of what this glow up is about, is like some defensiveness is coming down, some walls are coming down around service, because you're seeing the beauty of it, you're connecting to it in a more thoughtful way in general, but you also are really understanding your own boundaries as well. And so you don't need to be so guarded or so protected, because it's just something's opening up in you of like, oh yeah, it's actually easy to say no when I need to, but I've been through some beautiful experiences, and so I'm seeing a better value in more often being of service, right? And how that really provides rich ingredients into my life that create fertility and growth in my own cycle of growth. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. I kind of want to get you guys, I don't know why, I didn't do it for pile one, but I want to get you guys an affirmation card. It's weird, like I finished that and that was like the end of the reading, but I wasn't expecting it. I was like, oh wait, that's the end? I'm like, something's not ended though. Okay, so let's get you an affirmation. That will be the end, because it didn't feel right to end for some reason. Okay. Pre-night trust. I trust myself in the divine flow of the universe. Yeah, you're trusting yourself. More strength in how you trust yourself, and that leads to better strength in knowing who and what to trust in offerings and in requests, right? Right, yeah. Okay, there we go. That is gorgeous. What a beautiful glow up. Definitely a sense of you really coming into strength, seeing the beauty of sharing, seeing the enrichment of it, but also because you're probably in a place of feeling your cup running over in some way that you have energy or resources or whatever to share. Okay, if this did resonate, I always appreciate support. Likes, shares, and subscribes are easy ways to do that. Always grateful for kind and thoughtful comments as well. But in general, just thank you for being here, and I hope to see you in future readings. Hello, Pile 3. Welcome to your glow up inspired by the season of Lammas. Of course, you could be here at a different time. That's just fine. Okay, so this is a glow up that I'm reading as on the horizon, something coming in within the next 7 to 10 days minimally. Okay, so you guys have Country Fair, and it says, summon the strength to reach out and discover the unity of community around you. That's interesting. It's very, initially, I'm sure once we get into the details, it'll be very different, but there is a thread of connection to Pile 2 if you are interested. Okay, keywords. Community, celebration, and belonging. That is a little different. The belonging would be a different element. And celebration as well. Okay, so country fairs are a great way to get out of your day-to-day routine, to connect with your community, learn or try new things, or celebrate a cultural bond with like minds. It's easy to feel as though you're alone when you're hiding in your home without the benefit of human interaction, but when you get out into the world, you might discover how many people are available to you, waiting to be a support network for you and your dreams and challenges. It's a fundamental human need to desire community and a sense of belonging. To be part of something greater than yourself makes life feel shared and easier to manage and goes a long way towards the feeling of acceptance. But you can't wait at home and expect the community to find you. You have to go out and seek the people who are waiting to support you and welcome you with open arms. Taking the initiative to connect with others both socially and emotionally will open your spirit and send out a beacon to those who are meant for you. Whether you're looking for help in starting a business or finding a friend or lover, being brave enough to be vulnerable with others is the path towards gaining the acceptance you're seeking. It's okay to experiment and change course as you learn more about yourself and what brings you joy and fulfillment. Don't be afraid to put up boundaries with those who do not provide a feeling of emotional safety, or take a risk when you feel the presence of a kindred soul. Building community is an ongoing process of refinement, moving closer to or further away from people who represent you and your ideas. Interesting. So a glow up coming in this regard would likely mean coming closer to, whether that's closer to people you already have community with, but maybe aren't as tied as you would like to be, or there's just been some, people and life brings a lot of things our way that we all get busy. And so maybe this is just like a time you're coming into where in general, not even just for you, but in general, like the community you feel a tight knit with is like starting to come together and do more things. So there could be just more of a social glow up coming in your life wherever, your center of belonging is really turning on and fun and celebratory and gathering types of ways. For some of you, it might be that you are starting to come into and meet more people that really resonate with who you've become lately, and starting to build, kind of finding your place, right? So, and it could be a little bit of both. Maybe there is just like more activity with community you already really strongly adore, but you're also finding some new people that you're really clicking with and finding a sense of cohesion with and belonging to, right? So however that works for you, one or the other or both, but definitely kind of like a social glow up coming on for you guys, which is really fun and beautiful and tends to bring some busyness and some events and that kind of thing. So I would expect life to pick up a little minimally for you guys in this glow up. Okay, we're just going to get 3 tarot cards to add to this. See what else comes through about this glow up. Ooh. We've got the sun. Yeah. I mean, just things are feeling right. Things are feeling aligned socially and community-wise with this glow up, which is really great. We've got the 5 of Grails. That's interesting. Well, let's get the third one out before I go too far with the 5 of Grails. And Judgment, interesting. Okay, so this definitely gives some context. Back of the card was 9 of Swords, yeah. This for sure gives some context that I think you've actually had maybe some struggles with, like, where you fit in, what is your community. That's a normal thing, I think, to feel, especially if you're younger, but we all go through moments where we grow in certain ways in life. And sometimes that growth, it's not that you're outgrowing people in terms of like they're not growing too, but you can grow in like different ways, right? And so sometimes as you're growing and other people are growing and those growings are going different places, or there could be people that are like Arrested Development and don't grow and you're growing. And so you might be growing out of, but whatever the scenario, whether you're growing apart or outgrowing some communities, the 5 of Grails and the Judgment do feel like you've maybe lost a sense of community, lost your sense of connection or belonging, and something maybe lately has been a bit final about that. Judgment can really be like having awakenings, so definitely represents having like some big growth take place. So yeah, like you've grown in a way where I think your sense of belonging, and this doesn't have to be overall. This could be like your sense of belonging at work. It could be your sense of belonging in your neighborhood, or with, if you're a parent, with the other moms or dads, it's, at play dates in school or whatever it is, or it could be more social or some group you're involved in because of a cause. Whatever resonates to you, there's something I think you have actually outgrown because of the Judgment. There's something you've lost a sense of connection with, you've lost a sense of belonging with, and it's because you've had an awakening, you've grown in new ways, and it's taking you in different directions in life. It's bringing in just different focuses in life. So it's not personal, right? We can take things very personal sometimes that aren't that personal, and I feel like that might be the case here. With this image, you could even feel like others left you and you're kind of being left behind or something. But under the surface of things, your soul has orchestrated that because you're growing towards something else. And you need to look towards the things you're growing toward, not towards the things you've actually outgrown or have grown away from, right? And the sun showing up here, and because this is a glow up reading, is indicating that's like you're recognizing this. You're gaining clarity about this, and the sun is starting to shine to help you to find where you are resonating, where you do feel a strong sense of being seen, a strong sense of feeling interested in the same things, lots of touch points of connection. And so many times it's not like, the people that left or that you left isn't about them being right or wrong or bad or good. It's just like, that when growth happens, you're interested in different things. Your soul and heart and mind want to explore different things that aren't a reflection of what you're leaving behind being negative. It's just different, right? And so the light, the sun coming in, is helping you to see where you should be focusing, helping you to make the connections that are right for you, and to gain clarity about your belonging where you have felt recently a sense of loss. So a glow up around belonging, around social connection, around where your own growth has created some shifts for you, but is now starting to find the place that it's been trying to go to, is coming up now, right? So really beautiful. All right, so I hope that resonated. I hope that made sense. If so, I always appreciate support, likes, shares, and subscribes. Always grateful for kind and thoughtful comments as well. And yeah, just grateful that you're here though, and I hope to see you in future readings.